Hello, and thank you for joining us on Going Live with FCTV. I'm your host, Matthew Dowling, alongside my co-host, Dave Cesarek. Dave, how are you this evening?
I'm well. Welcome to episode 9.
Episode 9,
If you ever watch Jimmy Fallon's show, at the beginning, his house band, who's the Roots, they're an excellent house band, they'll shout out the name of the episode. So I don't know if our musical guest, Caitlin Rittenauer, is able to do that for us today, but we won't ask her. This is episode 9.
Episode 9. So how are you and your family, how do you weather the storm here?
Well, everyone's ill, actually. I mean, the flu seems to be going around. Fortunately, we haven't had any kind of flooding damage or anything like that. Knock on glass desk. But nothing too tumultuous for me, fortunately. How about for you?
I was driving out through Manillan Township the other day, and out by Dunlap Lake, where my parents are from, and the bridge was completely gone, submersed underwater. Wow. That's one heck of a storm, and we just at Fayette TV really hope and pray that everyone weathered that pretty well.
It's from what I've heard, I'm no weather expert, but I've heard it's unprecedented. You know, there's a storm front coming from up north, meeting the storm front from the Hurricane Sandy from the south, and it's creating some pretty hairy conditions.
Absolutely. So, hairy conditions or not, there's a lot of great things going on in Fayette County. Hey, they pay me the big bucks for the good segues. So, good things going on in Fayette County, other than ice and snow and storms. Why don't we talk about some of the things that are coming up? You know, you have some friends out in Connellsville, don't you?
I sure do. In fact, I'll be serving as the disc jockey for the annual Christmas in the Park event. I believe it's happening at Yock Park. It'll be my first time participating in that event, but our friends at the Greater Connellsville Chamber of Commerce asked me to help out. I'm glad to do that. It is November the 17th. So everyone, they'll have treat bags for the kids, all kind of good stuff. A lot of the business community in Connellsville really pitches together to make that event happen. A lot of volunteers, and it should be a lot of fun and a way to kind of kick off the holiday season a little bit early.
I'm in Rotary with their Santa Claus.
Really?
And we won't divulge his name. You know, Santa Claus, we won't let his name out. But in July, he starts to grow his beard for the event.
Wow.
So he is...
That's dedication.
I looked the other day, and he was looking awful squirrely. I mean, he had that whole mangy thing going on, but they're going to have a real live Santa Claus there, beard and all.
That's great. That's great. It should be a lot of fun.
So Christmas and the holidays aren't celebrated just in Connellsville.
No.
Obviously, we have some guests coming up tonight. Jeff McLaughlin, he's from In Our Building.
And Becky Hilton.
And Becky Hilton. They're going to be talking about some Christmas events, holiday events.
Home for the holidays here in downtown Uniontown. Great tradition. The whole downtown business community is involved, and usually some musical entertainment. I'm sure they'll have a lot more details for us on that, but it's really something to look forward to, and I believe we may be broadcasting that here on Fayette TV.
Absolutely. We love a good parade on Fayette TV.
We sure do.
If people would continually march past our building, we would have the best programming. I mean, it would be great.
We want to thank Chef Mario and as well as Taylor Hackley serving as the commentators for our previous parade, as well as the crew from Albert Gallatin High School. AGTV really did a lot to make that broadcast possible, our Halloween parade broadcast.
AGTV's with us here again tonight, serving as part of our camera crew for the show. So let's give them a big round of applause. So you would think that you're like Mr. Macy's over there because you pushed Christmas and the holidays before we got to Thanksgiving. You put that out front.
My mom would be disappointed.
Turkey Trot.
Turkey Trot.
We're going to talk about Turkey Trot today. That's another one of those $1 million transitions that you were talking about earlier. Turkey Trot, we're going to talk to our buddy Coach Jess today. He's going to tell us a little bit about Turkey Trot. Do you eat turkey and then run? There's an omelet run, and I understand that there's some eating of omelets and running, but Turkey Trot, do you...
It's a dangerous combo.
I don't know. The trichinosis? No, trichinosis is when it's not cooked.
Tryptophan.
Yeah.
Am I right, audience? Tryptophan?
Yeah. Is that what's in turkey? Okay. Hey. Missed that
Makes you
day in
sleepy.
medical school. Yeah. So he's going to be on. Monica Sweet from the Uniontown Art Club. She's going to be with us.
And Mrs. Hovanek, Marianne Hovanek as well, both from the Uniontown Art Club.
And Chef K.
Chef K, my good friend Helene Carpel, multi-talented lady, a chef and artist, and a local historian. She's going to have a lot of good stories to tell.
If you can cook, paint, and tell us about local history, I mean, that's like
She should probably be hosting the show.
That's true.
She's gonna get
That's true. She may push me out of here. So I think people have had enough of us today. So why don't we turn this over to our musical act? Our musical act, I saw her first at the Fayette County Fair this summer. I was out with the Fayette TV crew, and we were getting the Fayette Idol. She was actually the 2011 Idol winner, but a fantastic singer, songwriter, Caitlin Ridenour. We're going to turn things over to you, Caitlin. Why don't you open us up with a tune?
All right, an original of my own, and it's called Wild Rose. You probably heard it when we were down at the fair, but yeah, here we go. Woo! I put some tap water in my grandma's cup, and I filled it up with daisies and buttercups. And we picked tea and berries down by the creek. We'd eat a few and the rest were saved for jelly. I was happy, young, and still had time to grow all the ingredients I needed to become a wild rose. There's no taming the heart of something wild. Time is endless in a world of a child. From that smile to those barefoot little toes, I was a spirit on the run, a wild rose. Pap showed me sweet clover and old birch trees, both you could chew on and taste the flavor so sweet. I had scars on my knees from that old peach tree and jumping off a battle tree swing. Imagination and courage helped me grow. I was born to become There's no taming heart of something wild. Time is endless in a world of a child. From that smile to that freckled little nose, even though it was a long time ago, I'll always be known as a wild rose. Ooh, yeah.
Caitlin Ridenour, let's put your hands together for her.
Thank you.
Thank you. So how old are you, Caitlin?
I just turned 17.
Just turned 17. So how long have you been in the singing, songwriting business?
Well, I'd say since I was about 11 years old.
11 years old? But I'd imagine you took up your craft before that. When did you first start playing for family and friends?
Well, my dad taught me how to play guitar, and I think I was around 11 or 12 when I started that.
Okay,
But
okay. So you were the 2011, as I had mentioned, Fayette County Idol winner.
That's right.
And that was a big year for you because you were also the talent show winner at the Mount Pleasant Glass Festival.
That's right.
And what was it like playing? Was that kind of the first time you got in front of a group that large, or that you competed, or?
Well, I mean, that's the first time I've competed besides Fayette Idol, but you get used to it after a while. I mean, I would play for my family and stuff and my friends at school, and at first, in 7th grade I started, and it was pretty nerve-wracking, but then after a while you start to get used to it and it becomes natural.
So let's talk about your musical influences. You know, all the greats out there, they have a musical influence that they go to. I hear a little bit of Taylor Swift in
Yeah.
in your voice.
Yeah,
Is she an influence?
Yes, she is.
How about anyone else? Big influences?
Miranda Lambert, probably. I like a lot of different artists and a lot of different types of music, not only country. I mean, country is one of my main types, but I like to listen to all genres so I can try things out and please all different audiences.
So we have just a minute or two before we have to go to a short break. Favorite place you've performed?
Oh boy, that's a hard one. I'd probably have to say Fayette Idol, maybe?
Fayette Idol?
Yeah.
Fayette Idol? Okay. Well, hey, thank you for being with us. You're going to play us out at the end of the show, right?
Yeah, I'd
Okay,
love
so
to.
you're going to stick around, and we'll be back with Caitlin Ridenour at the end of the show. If you'll stay with us with Going Live with FCTV, we're going to go to a short promotional break, and we'll be right back.
You've been searching for the right barber or beautician for years. Visit Pompadour Salon at their brand new location, and your search will be over. Pompadour Salon is a full-service salon for both men and women. Owners Albert and Gennaro Cellurel have renovated the former Pizza Hut building along the National Pike in Hopwood and transformed it into a one-stop shop for your hair. The good folks at Pompadour Salon are fully equipped to cut, color, perm, and style your hair. And they offer a full selection of top-name hair care products at fair prices. Whether you're interested in a traditional or modern style, the team at Pompadour Salon has the knowledge and skill to create the look you've envisioned for years. Come and see for yourself why so many of your neighbors keep coming back to Pompadour Salon. Let the family at Pompadour, Albert, Gennaro, and Anita Jordan Cellurel take care of your family. Pompadour Salon along Route 40 in Hopwood, where you come in as a valued client, but you leave as a friend.
Well, thank you for staying with us with Going Live with FCTV. We have a great crew of people here today. Caitlin really opened that show up nicely for us, Dave, didn't she?
Very much so. She's very talented. I think we're going to be seeing big things from Caitlin Ridenour.
We have on the Going Live couch here two people that our friends at home may not know very well, but we do because we share an office building with them. Jeff McLaughlin and Rebecca Hilton, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you
I
for
can't
having
believe,
us.
you know, we've been doing the show now for at least six, 7 months,
Oh, okay,
and
great.
we've waited this long to bring you on. I think we had to test out and see what you were really like before we brought you on the show. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Uniontown Business District Authority. You were the director, Jeff, or what is your
Main Street
title?
manager.
Main Street manager?
And Rebecca's the assistant Main
Assistant
Street
manager.
manager.
Okay. So you guys, what essentially does the Uniontown Downtown Business Authority District do?
The purpose of the authority is to help create business opportunities for our existing businesses, hopefully bring new businesses in to the downtown.
Okay. And you have an event coming up, Home for the Holidays. Dave and I were talking about that a little bit before. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Home for the Holidays?
Right. Home for the Holidays, we can't use Light Up Night because that's already taken by the city of Pittsburgh. So that's where the Home for the Holidays name comes from. I think they officially switched over last year. It became Home for the Holidays. But basically what we have is a parade, and we have a number of events after that. We have the Fayette County Railroad, Tourism Railroad. They're going to be down on Beeson Street giving rides. We have a number of choral groups. The VFW Band is going to be at the Story Square performing. Santa's going to be at Story Square. We're going to have the tree lighting at Story Square. Circa 1812, the log cabin over here. This is something new. They're going to be doing the Secret Santa shop, if I'm saying that correctly, where kids can go in and buy for their siblings, their parents, buy little gifts for them, stuff like that. So, you know, we're really looking forward to it. It should be a really nice event. We're trying to get people to come downtown, shop more downtown. We're going to encourage the businesses to stay open, encourage the businesses to, at a minimum, leave their lights on, but hopefully stay open. So try to create some interest in the downtown.
You know, at the end of the parades that I've had the pleasure to commentate recently, I always make sure that I urge the people who are downtown to stay downtown, have dinner
Right.
downtown.
Exactly.
You know, we have some wonderful restaurants right in downtown Uniontown. And Dave and I working in the city, I mean, I think we've both gained at least 10 pounds in the last 6 months. Because we have a
do.
few favorite haunts that we
Yes.
find between 11:30 and
Yeah.
probably 1:30. And, but great places downtown.
Definitely.
A lot to do. So what's the date for your event this year?
Thursday, December the 6th.
Okay, December the 6th. Anything extra or new that's different from maybe last year's event?
I mean, we're definitely going to try to increase the number of participants, the choral groups, choirs, that sort of thing. So, and we're still in the planning stages, so I don't want to, say something that we're going to have that maybe doesn't pan out. But we are looking into trying to have a couple different things, to try to create interest.
Sure. So you mentioned that Santa's going to be there. Will kids
Yes.
be able to talk to Santa? Will they be able to write a letter to Santa? What are they doing with Santa then?
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you asked me that. Story Square, we're going to have Santa Claus at the Story Square, but Mrs. Claus is going to be at here at the Chamber Building, and there's going to be a letter for Santa station here, along with hot chocolate, cookies, that sort of thing.
Okay, so they'll be able to write that letter and
Yes.
tell Santa what they want, or if they've been
Exactly.
good, and really make their case for the end of the year.
Plead their case.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's also a parade involved, and
Right.
I've realized one thing with Uniontown: when you have a parade, people they come out in full force.
Yeah, the Halloween parade was unbelievable. I mean, with the weather and
Yeah.
everything, I mean, there must have been thousands of people here, and hopefully we're going to be able to match that. I know the weather's going to be a little iffier in December, but hopefully people will turn out for that. And we're actually going to go the opposite direction from the Halloween parade. We're going to start at the courthouse and go towards Five Corners. So.
Okay. So how can someone who would like to participate if they're a business or an individual wanting to participate in the parade?
Yeah, that'd be great. You can either contact me at 724-438-4287. Rebecca's at 4289, so same first 6 digits, 724-438-4289 is Rebecca.
Right.
And I'm Jeff at uniontownredevelopment.com. She's Rebecca at uniontownredevelopment.com. So either way, email or phone is fine.
So I saved the deep question for the end of the interview. How does this event fall into the mission of your organization?
One of the points of a Main Street program is promotions. So this is a way to promote the downtown. Another one of our big events is Story Square, which is actually a 10-week, it's once a week for 10 weeks, a concert series that we have down here at Story Square. We have a band, we have a different restaurant, we have the farmer's market involved. So that was another promotional type of activity, just trying to encourage people to come downtown. So that's how that works.
So I'll let you get in there real quick, and maybe Becky, this is one for you.
Okay.
Other initiatives that you guys may be working on, or other projects of the Uniontown Downtown Business Authority District?
We're talking about a festival coming up in May. We also have a wake-up meeting. It's tomorrow, and it's a merchants meeting for any business that's located in our central business district. And we're working together to send out some advertising for the businesses here in Uniontown. So if you wanted to get in on that, you might want to come tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. It's for the businesses here right in town. And that's for our advertising and promotions project that we're working on. We do the Beautify Main Street in May also, which is we plant the flowers. We're going to be decorating the baskets up on the poles for Christmas with lights and greenery.
I want to commend you both because I know you were involved heavily in the planning for the Downtown Story Square concert series this year, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I was there many weeks filming, and just a great variety of music and food, and each week supports a different nonprofit vendor. So congratulations on another successful year. And the farmers markets, that's a great touch as well. So
Yeah, I think we had at least 3,000 people total for all 10 weeks at Story Square. So yeah, it was great to have all those folks downtown supporting our businesses, shopping, going to the restaurants.
And it's wonderful to get them downtown, but I know Fayette TV, we had the opportunity because of some good sponsorship
exactly, yes.
to cover all 10 weeks and to have that on television. And I know we got calls. Every time that was scheduled to air, someone would call in and say how much they enjoyed it, or they would say, ask when it would be playing again. It was funny, the same people, because Dave and I were at a few of those concerts, same people we'd run into at the restaurants downtown afterwards, they would say, hey, when's that playing again? And we would play it just a couple hours after the event.
Right.
And they said, well, that's too soon. We won't be home yet. So they wanted to watch it, go out to eat, and go home and watch it again. So you guys were definitely doing something right there. Hey, I thank you both for being with us, Rebecca Hilton and Jeff McLaughlin with the Uniontown Downtown Business Authority District. If you'll stay with us here on Going Live with FCTV, I understand I'm going to be joining a tailgate with Coach Jess Hudson over on his set with Time Out for Sports, and we'll be talking a little bit about the Turkey Trot. So stay with us. We'll be right back after these promotional messages.
You've been searching for the right barber or beautician for years. Visit Pompadour Salon at their brand new location, and your search will be over. Pompadour Salon is a full-service salon for both men and women. Owners Albert and Gennaro Cellurel have renovated the former Pizza Hut building along the National Pike in Hopwood and transformed it into a one-stop shop for your hair. The good folks at Pompadour Salon are fully equipped to cut, color, perm, and style your hair. And they offer a full selection of top-name hair care products at fair prices. Whether you're interested in a traditional or modern style, the team at Pompadour Salon has the knowledge and skill to create the look you've envisioned for years. Come and see for yourself why so many of your neighbors keep coming back to Pompadour Salon. Let the family at Pompadour, Albert, Gennaro, and Anita Jordan Cellurel take care of your family. Pompadour Salon along Route 40 in Hopwood, where you come in as a valued client, but you leave as a friend.
Thank you for staying with us with Going Live with FCTV. I'm here with Coach Jess Hudson. Coach is the host of Time Out for Sports, which you may be used to seeing here on Fayette Television. But you're also, maybe a lesser known role of yours, a member of the advisory board with the Salvation Army. Is that correct?
Yes, Dave and I serve on the advisory board together.
So in addition to being an advisory board member, you are the chairman of an upcoming race. Is that correct?
Yes. First, on behalf of the Salvation Army, thanks to you and Dave for letting us be on the show and giving us an opportunity to promote our event. It's the Turkey Trot. It's that time of year, and Hurricane Sandy and all that brought to us is long gone, and we guarantee 55-degree sunny weather on Thanksgiving morning.
55 degrees.
Absolutely, we can do that.
You could do that?
Absolutely.
And if that's not the temperature, do I call the Butterball Turkey line or what?
Well, we hope for good weather, and that has a lot to do with our turnout that morning. Many of the participants in all races wait till race day. They pay a couple extra dollars. They want to see how the weather is, et cetera, et cetera. But we've had a bad weather day or two in our 6 previous years, and it's still been very well supported.
Now, the Turkey Trot's not your only big race of the year. You do 2 races with the Salvation Army each year?
Yes, it's our biggest, but we also have another race in June. It's called the Hall of Fame 5K race, and it starts off what we call Hall of Fame weekend. It's connected to the Fayette County Sports Hall of Fame, and that's on Thursday. The banquet's on Saturday, and we have some of our inductees come down, introduce them, and they help present the awards. So we're very blessed to have the support from our local communities twice a year.
And I was able to make it to the Hall of Fame dinner this year. We were covering it with Fayette TV, and fantastic event, just as a short aside. It really seems like it's grown and is great. People come far and wide for that event, but they also come far and wide for what I understand for the Turkey Trot.
Sure.
How far would you say people travel?
We have people that are not traveling, or just come from their home, about an hour and a half, 2 hours more to the south. But we have people when they come in to visit family from California to Maine to Florida to Texas, they're in our race because they come home for the holidays. Everybody's looking for something to do and burn some calories because we all know we're going to eat a lot during that time.
So you run before you eat the turkey, obviously.
Yes, Dave, I think so.
that would be the recommended way to do it.
Yes.
So how many people participated in last year's turkey trot?
If we count the mini trotters, and we do as part of our numbers, that's the age group 2 to 11, and they have their own little race before the turkey trot. We broke 900, so we're very proud of that. Hopefully we can at least equal that and maybe attract a few more.
Do you know offhand how much money was raised from last year's turkey trot, or a ballpark figure?
Yeah, my guess is between $7,000 and $8,000. And if I may, if we're fortunate enough to raise that much this year, we'll go over $100,000 raised with the 12 5K races that we've had at the Salvation Army during the last 9 years.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So that means we've had generous support from our local communities, businesses, and getting sponsorships, and our race participation has done very well, so we appreciate the support.
Now, I know a lot of people, they probably see the Salvation Army, they think of the commander in uniform standing with a kettle maybe at Christmas time, but what are some good deeds or things that those funds go to be used? Because I know maybe some of our viewing audience isn't completely familiar with all the things that the Salvation Army does.
Sure, good question. One of the big areas that this supports and ventures is the soup kitchen. The same day of the race is 9 a.m., the mini trot's at about 8:15. At 11 o'clock, we'll then go upstairs and we will serve the Thanksgiving meal to our clients, so to speak. So it benefits the soup kitchen, and we also have a food pantry, and there are various other things. So the funds are very much needed, and we appreciate all the support.
Now, you mentioned that a lot of people wait until morning of to see weather, but you take advanced registration for the turkey trot as well, is that correct?
Sure. Typically, like last year, we had 450 pre-register and then about an equal number the day before and the morning of. So some people have been emailing and they don't like to wait in line, so they can come the day before over on Fayette Street, where we're located, between 4:30 and 6, and they can register then and avoid the big line in the morning.
So are there prizes, or is it just a satisfaction of beating your own time or
yeah, good question.
competition?
Well, it's both. I think the majority of our participants, and I think this would be true for all the races, most do it to support a charity and get in some exercise and enjoy the social aspect. Then there are a certain percentage of people that really take this very seriously, and they're out to win the race or win their age group. We do have 20 plaques that we give away to 5 males, 5 females, runners, walkers, and then we give out medals to the top 3 in all the various age categories, and that goes all the way up to 70+ years of age. So we have a number of things to give out.
And participants get a T-shirt as well for
Sure.
taking part?
Yeah, we give a long sleeve T-shirt as an option. You also have an option of getting a sweatshirt and also a hoodie. So we have 3 options, which is kind of unique.
So can you give me the inside track? What's the color of the shirts this year?
I can, and one of them is pink.
Okay.
Okay, and of course most women might check that box, and the other color is purple. And every year we try to not necessarily have a fall color, but have different colors, because some of our participants, they do 15 5K races a year, so we try to mix it up and give them something different.
So how does one go about training for a 5K race? Like I'm not a runner at all, but say I would want to get involved. What would be the first steps to start to train for a run?
Sure. First step would be to see Dave, because he's an expert and he could get you through. But you always want to have good shoes. I think that goes without saying. And you want to go out a certain length of time before the event. So if you've been running all summer, you're ready to go. If you started the 1st of September, you probably should be able to make 3.1 miles without stopping then as well. So there's some people that go out and do 8-10 miles almost every day. So it depends on the person. And again, most of our participants are just there to have a good time and support a good cause. So you don't have to be a competitive person to participate in this and other 5K races.
So I'm sure before long, since you're with the Salvation Army, I'll ask you, before long we'll start to see the kettles spring up. It's kettle season. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that campaign? Are there volunteers that are needed for the kettle drive?
Sure. Thanks for asking. Kettle Drive, I believe we signed up for something on around November 15th, 16th, 17th. If that's a weekend, that's when we are starting. And yes, if anyone wishes, please get in touch with us at the Salvation Army, the Rotary, and the Salvation Army Advisory Board, and many, many other groups, church and otherwise, school groups. It's a great activity. It's a fun activity. You can be at one of 6 or 7 places while you're helping the Salvation Army to serve others by raising funds. You also get to see family and friends that are going by, and it's really a good social interaction type of activity. And we also guarantee 55-degree weather for that during the holidays.
Every time you work?
Every time.
Every time?
Every time.
Man, maybe I'll have to do that if it's going to be 55 degrees. In fact, I think it would be interesting maybe if we took some of the personalities from our show. I bet Chef Mario would be interesting working the kettle. That may be something to think about. We'll sign up for a Fayette TV Day.
Well, the stronger the personality, the more money you will raise, because it is all about engaging others as they walk to and fro.
Well, if you haven't met Chef yet, he's a strong personality, so he'll definitely be good at that. So we have just a moment or two left. Why might someone volunteer at our local Salvation Army, not just during the holiday season, but like what keeps you involved? Why would someone want to be involved with the Salvation Army?
Another great question, Matt. I'll speak for me. It just gives me a great feeling knowing that I'm doing something, even though it's a very small thing, to try to help do something for someone that's a little less fortunate, maybe down a little bit on their luck. And it's just a great feeling to know that you've helped someone brighten their day, so to speak.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Coach
Thank you, sir.
Jess Hudson.
Thanks, Matt.
If you'll stay with me, we'll be back after these promotional messages.
You've been searching for the right barber or beautician for years. Visit Pompadour Salon at their brand new location and your search will be over. Pompadour Salon is a full-service salon for both men and women. Owners Albert and Gennaro Cellurel have renovated the former Pizza Hut building along the National Pike in Hopwood and transformed it into a one-stop shop for your hair. The good folks at Pompadour Salon are fully equipped to cut, color, perm, and style your hair. And they offer a full selection of top-name hair care products at fair prices. Whether you're interested in a traditional or modern style, the team at Pompadour Salon has the knowledge and skill to create the look you've envisioned for years. Come and see for yourself why so many of your neighbors keep coming back to Pompadour Salon. Let the family at Pompadour, Albert, Gennaro, and Anita Jordan Cellurel take care of your family. Pompadour Salon along Route 40 in Hopwood, where you come in as a valued client, but you leave as a friend.
Thank you once again for staying with us, or if you're just joining us, this is Going Live with FCTV, and I'm here with Helene Karpel. I understand your friends call you Chef K because you make some fantastic soups and breads, but you're going to be talking to us a little bit about art today and the paintings that you've done. Could you tell me a little bit about maybe some of the pieces that you've brought with you here today?
Well, I started painting about 10 years ago. I got a lot of inspiration from PBS programs. So one day I just went out and bought some paints and a brush and practice and practice and practice. And these are some of my first paintings here that I did, and these ones that are laying down here. This is my latest one that I just finished. This mostly I do acrylic, but this is an oil painting right here. And
are these on slate or what is
this?
The
I started
canvas?
painting on wood.
Okay.
And I would have little pieces of wood around the house from remodeling projects, and I just started, you know, practicing on the wood.
Sure.
And then I went to canvas, but I still like to paint on wood.
Okay.
So that's how I got started. So I was painting for a couple of years, and I thought I would enter it into the Fayette County Fair in '04, just to see, you know, get some feedback on if I should keep on going or not. And I did win the Best of Show. So, and I did win several ribbons. So that was inspiration to keep on going. So I just continued to painted everything.
So it looks like you've pulled your inspiration from a number of different places. Obviously, the lighthouse isn't in our own backyard.
Right.
Where's an inspiration that you pulled that lighthouse painting from?
I had a calendar with all kinds of different scenes on it, and I just liked that lighthouse, and I always want to paint something different, and I'm always looking for new things to paint. So I just started, because somebody said, why don't you paint a lighthouse? She wanted a lighthouse for her daughter as a picture, because sometimes I do paint for people if they want a special thing. So she suggested a lighthouse, so I said, oh, that's something different that I can develop. So that's how I got to that.
So I noticed over here a piece that I've seen before. This was in a historical piece you put together, and our producer Dave helped you put together about sea rights. Now,
Yes.
sea rights is a local. They wouldn't be offended if we call it a patch community, would they?
Yeah, that's what it was.
It's a patch. So why don't you tell us a little bit about sea rights and maybe about this painting and what drew you to paint a scenic sea rights picture?
Well, I started out with flowers and scenes, and I thought I'd like to paint something that nobody else was painting. So I just suddenly got an idea of why don't I paint some nostalgic things, because people are really interested in the history of this area. So I did. It took me a couple of years to work on these, and I have a really big one, 4x4 piece of wood that I did the whole patch, and I had to do it from my memory because we didn't have any pictures of it. So I did that, and I took it to our Sea Right reunion 2 years ago. So everybody was picking out their house where they lived. They really had a good time with it. So then for this year, I painted this one and also some other nostalgic things that were only like from the patch, like the way that people lived, because you know that lifestyle isn't anymore, that's over. And people like to remember that, and people are really interested. And then I got interested in the men that these places were named after. And William Seawright, of course, was the landowner where this place was built at Seawright Crossroads near there. So I decided to make a DVD and look into the history of him and his family, where he came from, and it turned out to be really interesting. And so if anybody would like to buy a DVD of that, or like to, you know, it is very interesting because it's a lot of history.
Sure, sure. Now
But that's
you mentioned
how I got started with that.
You mentioned the Sea Rights reunion, and I was kind of interested whenever I'd heard that you guys come together on an annual basis. Is that correct?
It was 2 years.
Okay.
Well, in 2010, it just invited, like it was like word of mouth. So we would know somebody, they would be in touch with somebody else, and there ended up to be like 300 people there.
Oh my.
And people that we hadn't seen, you know, each other in a long time, in like years. And it was really a nice community affair.
So is this something you're planning for upcoming again?
Well, probably in a couple years. Every
Okay.
couple of years would be, you know, people get together and just to see what everybody's doing, just to reminisce about, you know, different times when we grew up and different things.
So let's talk a little bit about your art. I understand that you recently did a presentation to students at Westmoreland County Community College.
Yes, I did. Patrick Doherty teaches art at Westmoreland County Community College, and that's where I work as a clerk typist part-time.
Okay.
So he asked me to do a presentation for his class, which was really nice and interesting, and the students liked it. It's also on Facebook.
So how do you feel you've grown as an artist? You said you started maybe 10 years ago. You're starting with little scraps of wood. How have you kind of developed or grown or blossomed as an artist?
Oh, I've come a long way. It takes a lot of practice, though. I've really come a long way. I used to paint, I would start on pieces of wood. I would paint on rocks, and if anybody was there, I would paint them, I think. But I really came a long way and learned a lot. I would tape a lot of the shows from PBS and just watch them over and over. And,
Bob Ross, was that one of them?
Bob Ross, oh, I just always watched Bob Ross and thought, boy, if I could only paint like that. Then after, I would watch his tapes over and over. I tried to pick up some of his techniques. And it took a long time because it's not easy, actually.
You mentioned that you pulled some inspiration from watching Bob Ross, and I know he always talked about how inanimate objects kind of had a personality,
Yeah.
or you would have a happy cloud, or
Yeah,
a
that's
smiling tree. And I see over here in this piece, which as I look into the background, I see a couple people. Who would those people be?
That's just people strolling in the park.
Just strolling in the park.
Yeah.
But it looks like a lot of your inanimate objects, you've achieved that kind of Bob Ross feeling of taking on personification, really.
Right. Well, I tried a lot of his techniques, and I did do a painting where somebody walked into my house and they said, "That looks like a Bob Ross," and that was like it for me. I was just so thrilled. I thought, oh, I'm going to keep on going with this painting. But I learned a lot from him. Donna Dewberry, I watched a lot. I learned a lot of that one-stroke painting from her. Thomas Kincaid, I just love his artwork. So with all of these artists, I picked up little pieces, bits and pieces and techniques from them, and then I just put my own style together.
So what is your favorite painting that you've ever done?
Oh, well, I kind of like that vase right there, that white, because that was one of the first ones
You
that
mind
I
if I
did.
pick it up?
No.
No.
And I was just thrilled with this, of how it came out so well. And I really didn't even know what I was doing. So.
That's a beautiful painting. Well, Helene, thank you very much for being with us here today.
Oh, you're
we
welcome.
We invite you back anytime you want to stop and visit. Anytime you want to teach us how to make a soup,
Okay.
you can come. We'll
Dave-
have you back on. You can make soup. I'm a big fan of pumpkin soup. Do you make a pumpkin soup?
Yes.
Yes, a good seasonal one.
Okay.
I eat lunch around noon,
Around
so no. But thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. I will. Thanks.
You've been searching for the right barber or beautician for years. Visit Pompadour Salon at their brand new location and your search will be over. Pompadour Salon is a full-service salon for both men and women. Owners Albert and Gennaro Cellurel have renovated the former Pizza Hut building along the National Pike in Hopwood and transformed it into a one-stop shop for your hair. The good folks at Pompadour Salon are fully equipped to cut, color, perm, and style your hair. And they offer a full selection of top-name hair care products at fair prices. Whether you're interested in a traditional or modern style, the team at Pompadour Salon has the knowledge and skill to create the look you've envisioned for years. Come and see for yourself why so many of your neighbors keep coming back to Pompadour Salon. Let the family at Pompadour, Albert, Gennaro, and Anita Jordan Cellurel take care of your family. Pompadour Salon along Route 40 in Hopwood, where you come in as a valued client, but you leave as a friend.
Hey, thank you for staying with us with Going Live with FCTV. Two lovely new faces joining me on the Going Live couch. Marianne Havanek and Monica Sweet, both of the Uniontown Art Club,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, that's
Well,
right.
thank you. Thank you for being with us. I understand you're going to tell me a little bit about the 5th annual holiday show and sale. Why don't you tell us? Are you you're the chair of that?
Yeah, I got the opportunity to chair this show, and it's going to be held this year right across the street at the historic Fayette building.
Okay.
Thanks to Gary Gearing and his family. It's going to be we encourage people to come out and visit. It's going to be a lovely, lovely decorated for the holidays. Handmade items. Everything's going to be handmade, and just, you know, it would make a nice warm gift for somebody to give something handmade. It's going to be November 16th, 17th, and 18th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday is the opening night, and it'll be from, what is it,
From
Monica?
6 to 8 o'clock.
And Saturday it's from noon until 5. No, 10 until 5, and Sunday from noon until 5.
Okay. So you talk about an art show. I understand there's more than just painting on canvas there. You're going to have jewelry, paintings, cards, pottery.
Correct.
Just
Ornaments.
beautifully
Ornaments.
handcrafted items. And I think that's what the art club is all about. It's just, nothing is made in China. Everything is hand
handmade.
done. And might I add that we are just thrilled to death to be in downtown Uniontown this year. We feel it's a great location. This year, we probably won't have a blizzard, and the weather will be great, and we'll do okay, but it's just nice to be in such a lovely,
We're
with
excited.
lovely surroundings. The building is beautiful.
Beautiful.
Do you know about how many artists you expect to take part in the exposition?
I think there will be about 12.
Okay.
Hopefully, maybe there might be a little bit more, but I think right now we have about 12 artists.
Are either of you artists yourselves? Will you have anything on display?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why don't you tell us a little bit, maybe each of you, about a work that you're going to have on display there?
Well, I do a lot of porcelain items with a lot of Christmas ornament, hand-painted Christmas ornaments. I do a lot of snowmen, like little birds, just, you know, little woodland creatures. I like to personalize everything that I make, to make it personal. I have little 4x4 table paintings that you can display on your little, you know, little coffee table. I have little vases with angels on them, and some more, like, you know, like cardinals and redbirds and chickadees, and deer. So it's
Sounds like some lovely pieces that you'll have.
I like it. I think
Monica,
people will like it.
How about you?
Well, we're the best of friends, and we don't compete
Yes.
against each other, but I paint Christmas bulbs and do paintings on pieces of roofing slate, and we like the same things.
Yes, we do.
I paint a lot of birds, flowers, and that type of thing. And so we're all busy getting ready for the show.
Yeah.
And another added feature, we also feature some hand baked items that are packaged, and the reception that evening will have lots of goodies. So we're just really looking forward to it.
So let's make sure we get the date out there again. It's going to be November 16th, 17th, and 18th. And Monica, maybe could you give us those hours again?
The Friday night is the reception, and it is going to be November the 16th from 6 to 8. Saturday, November 17th from 10 to 5. And Sunday, November 18th from noon until 5. That way you can go to church and then enjoy the afternoon at the show.
So I was wondering, we had an artist on the show a little bit earlier, and she pulls some of her inspiration from local items. I would imagine the art club, do you pull some inspiration from local history or from the local area as well? The birds, maybe they're native to the local area?
Oh yeah, I like to do like paintings. Even for the art show that we had in May, I took some photos of the Washington Tavern.
Okay.
And I did a watercolor of the Washington Tavern. But yeah, the art club, you know, a lot of times we even go out and just take some photos together and like even paint outside together. And but yeah, we take inspiration from the surrounding areas.
Well, I'm definitely glad you guys are members of the club, and that the club's here to kind of celebrate local talents. That's one thing we try to do on this show. We wish you all of the best November 16th, 17th, and 18th at the Fayette Building in downtown Uniontown. Really look forward to you guys doing that show. We're just about out of time, but before we go, we have a special treat. Caitlin, who was with us at the beginning of the show, is going to be playing us out. You still over there, Caitlin?
I am.
Why don't you play us a number to head home to?
Alrighty, this is a slower one, and it's also a newer one that I just wrote, and it's called There's No Place Like Home. Please, baby, don't move. You and I could stay here forever if you want to. I'd be perfectly fine. Always waking up with you by my side, trapped in the shadows where I was. You show me that you gave me love. Just take hold of my hand. I promise forever to be your best friend, but please don't ever let go and move on. 'Cause I finally found a place that I belong. And it's true what they say, that at the end of the day, there's no place like home. Caught in a moment so sweet, hold me close and I'll breathe you in deep with your eyes so tender and kind. There'll be no such thing as a word time. I've finally found my one true place. I can be myself where I feel safe. A miracle, you're my saving grace. And sometimes in a world of black and white, where I feel so alone, every place feels like an empty space, and I've lost all hope. But my home is where the heart is, and baby, that's with you. Right in your arms is right where I belong, and there's really no place like home. No place, no place, baby, there's no place like home. No place, no place. Please, baby, don't move. You and I could stay here forever if you want to. Thank you.